Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Cult to Freedom. We are free. And what can possibly hold us back? Well, this concept of feeling like maybe you don't deserve to be happy, maybe like you don't deserve to have a good life. I have a lot of people talk to me about feeling like maybe it's selfish to leave, or deserving and selfish, I think, are two words that are kind of related when you come from a cult. So in this video, we are going to be debunking this myth. We are going to be rewashing our brain with truth. Why do you suppose it is that we feel like we're not deserving? Well, we came from a cult where we were told it was undeserved loving kindness. We came from a cult that taught that we were born sinners, that we were so bad that Jesus, the Son of God, had to die for us. We were so bad, could never save ourselves because we're so messed up. I think one of the things when I left the cult that really started making me question that maybe even the Bible was the Word of God was that as a parent, I really resonated with how yucky that would be to have your child believe that they were so undeserving, they were so unworthy. And we would assume that God, being the greatest psychologist that there could possibly be, would understand the psychological damage in brainwashing people to believe that they are such sinners, that they are unworthy and undeserving of anything. So as we debunk this, maybe your parent, or at least you know a baby. So I want you to think about a baby. Think about an innocent child that's born. And most people would agree that a newborn baby deserves a home, that a newborn baby deserves to be loved. It deserves food, deserves comfort. It deserves a good life. I don't think that there's hardly anybody that would argue that. I think everyone agrees that the moment a baby is born, it deserves the best of everything. It deserves everything. If you're a parent, I'm sure you probably felt that when your child was born. They deserve everything. And I think it's true. I think that from the moment of birth, every human does deserve a good life. They do deserve everything, right? Now, they may not get it, but that's a different topic. We're starting from the moment of birth, that the truth is that everyone is born and everyone does deserve happiness, peace, kindness, love, food, everything, right? What did the baby do to earn that? Because here as adults, you're sitting here listening to me, questioning whether you deserve it, wondering what you need to do to earn it. What did that newborn baby do to earn deserving? Well, they haven't done anything yet. They were just born. They just came into this world, and they came into this world deserving the best of everything, the best that life has to offer. So at what point does this child stop deserving? When do we know all of a sudden miraculously have to start earning stuff? When do we have to start miraculously earning love and approval and friendship and connectedness? 2 years old? 3 years old? 7, 8, 9? Well, the funny thing is that every human that's watching this is going to have a different answer. And because the answers are so varied, that is how we know that it's a lie, because it doesn't make sense. Maybe one person felt undeserving from infancy, and another person at toddlerhood, and another person didn't feel like that they were a teenager. Maybe another person didn't feel like that until they got married. Somehow along the way, we were taught, brainwashed, or a combination of both, to give away our power. And healing requires reclaiming what has always been yours. And deserving is probably the biggest one. Deserving is probably the biggest step of reclaiming what you were born with automatically. Now, an infant, not only do they deserve to be taken care of, don't they kind of demand it too? An infant can be very demanding. They want to be fed now. They want to be picked up now. They want to be changed now. They demand it. Is there anything wrong with the baby demanding what it deserves? Actually, I would say no. No. It has a right to do that. Absolutely. And the infant absolutely has a right to do that. So, what happens? How do we start giving this power away? How does that baby learn that it doesn't deserve? Well, maybe it has born into a terrible family. Maybe the parents are terrible. Maybe the parents don't take care of the baby. Maybe they're neglectful. Maybe they're alcoholics. Who knows? And somewhere along the journey, the baby starts to feel like, nobody loves me. Nobody loves me. Without realizing that it was born deserving. Our reasoning abilities, obviously, they're not developed at birth. But our ability to deserve, our ability to love, that is from the moment we enter into this world. So at some point, this baby's upbringing starts teaching it that, no, you're not good enough, honey. You're not. How do we know that this is a lie? Well, if that same infant had been born into a different family, it would have been totally different. If it had been born into a supporting, loving, etc. family, its feeling of deserving, its self-esteem would have been completely different. That's how we know. You see, giving that power away was a product of circumstance, not reality, not truth. Those of you that are sitting there with this thought of not being deserving, I want you to question that harder than you have ever questioned anything in your life, because guess what? You're in a cult. You took a lot of things for granted. You assumed a lot of things were true. And they weren't until you started questioning it. So just the very fact that you believe something doesn't make it true. Because we believed a lot of things that we now know to be not true. There is religious restructuring. So obviously you leave the religion, there's all these religious beliefs that we leave behind. And what we're left with is lifestyle rebuilding, lifestyle indoctrination. And this concept of not being deserving, my dear hearts, please, please, please question that belief as strongly as you question the governing body. Because maybe this didn't come from your parents. Maybe this came from the religion. Or maybe it came from both. This earning concept. So we're going to switch it just a little bit to this earning concept. So this isn't just in the religion. This is society in general. First of all, we're not born with an owner's manual. So because we don't come with an owner's manual, our emotional maturity and our growing kind of is like haphazard and kind of true, kind of not. We're all just kind of winging it here. In society in general, we have this tendency to think that we need to do something to earn something. If I do this, they will love me. If I do this, they'll be proud of me. If I do this, they'll approve. But that's messed up and it doesn't work. That's why people are unfulfilled. They're unhappy. They're searching for these feelings on the outside. We're looking for it in the wrong place. That was my cat jumping. We're looking for it in the wrong place. You cannot earn a feeling. A feeling is an energy. A feeling is something that's inside of you. How the heck do you earn it? Well, I'll go even a step further. You know what? I can give you this. I can give you this. I can give you this. These are tangible, physical things. But how do I give you, ooh, how do I give you love? It's not tangible. So I want to prove my point here. So as long as you're not driving or operating heavy equipment, I want you to take a moment and I want you to think about a memory where you felt really loved. Okay? Take a moment, find a memory. It doesn't matter what memory it is. It can be from childhood, it could be with your own child, it could be with your dog. I just want you to think about a memory where you felt love. The circumstances of the memory doesn't matter. I don't care what you did. I don't care what they did. You know, maybe your spouse gave you a special gift or your parents. I don't care what they did. I don't care what the memory is. Just find the memory. And when you find it, let yourself feel that feeling. Let yourself remember how that feeling felt of being loved. Take just a moment. Everybody's going to feel it differently. Maybe some people feel it in their chest. Other people might feel it in their stomach. Other people might say, yeah, that's like a warm feeling all over. Let yourself remember that feeling for a moment. Good. Okay, who gave that to you? What'd you do to earn it just now? You just felt it. How'd you earn it? Oh, that feeling is already inside of you. And you didn't do anything to feel it right this second. That feeling is coded into your brain. It is coded into that memory. And accessing these feelings is, in the beginning, the easiest way to do it is through a memory. So when you go through that memory and you feel that feeling and you're like, oh, yeah, that felt really good. That felt really good. Hold that. That is emotional control. You just gave yourself the ability to feel that. Now there's more steps to that, but I want you to realize right there, hello, that feeling is a non-tangible. You did that all by yourself. Nobody is right there. Nobody gave that to you. That is yours. You already have that on the inside. So let's start debunking this. You have to earn a feeling a little bit more. These feelings that we're trying to deserve, that we're struggling to deserve, we're struggling to earn, I'm pretty sure you would probably agree that they're ridiculously important. Deserving love, deserving happiness, health, wealth, all of those things are critical for human happiness, for human survival, right? And we're leaving it up to people on the outside. You are leaving that feeling of love up to your parents, your spouse, your whoever. And the truth is, they have a job, they have their own emotional baggage. Your wife's like trying to cook dinner and take the kids to school, and whoops, she forgot that she's your supply constantly. You see, we're leaving our emotional health in the hands of people who have a life. And that's why we go about, feeling it pretty hit or miss. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Just because we're waiting to get it from somebody else. And that is not how it works. That's a poor way to go about life. That's why people are unhappy, right? What if you could harness that on the inside anytime that you want? Well, that's why I have this channel, because my dreams and goals and mission is to help people understand you already have all that on the inside. You already deserve, you were born deserving. You were born loving. You were born happy. You were born with joy. Just because we forgot or just because we gave our power away doesn't mean that now, today, sitting here right now, listening to me, that is not true. Okay, so let's talk about this. Let's pretend for a second that you do have to earn it. You need to earn love in order to deserve it. You need to earn it. Okie doke. How exactly do you do that? What are the rules? What steps exactly am I supposed to do to earn this feeling? How exactly do I deserve it? because it's so important. It's critical to your emotional, mental, spiritual, physical well-being. There should be action steps. It should be pretty clear, pretty much any job, there's a task list. Do this, 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 and this. Whoopsie. Whoopsie. Hold on. Down, mama. And that's how you earn it, because there's action steps, okay? Here's the funny thing. Everybody watching this video is going to come up with a different list. And a large percentage of you are going to say, I have no freaking idea how I'm supposed to earn that. I don't know what the steps are. Well, maybe the reason why you don't know what the steps are is because it's already inside of you. As a living, breathing human being that was born, you were born to deserve it. That's why you don't know what the action steps are to earn it. All right, let's debunk this just a little bit more. All right, let's assume you know what you need to do to earn whatever, to deserve whatever. Who's reviewing the homework? Who are you turning your action steps into to meet the goal? Who's responsible for dishing out whatever it is that you just earned? Okie dokie. How about this one? Who gave them the authority? Who told them that they get the power of determining whether you deserve something or not? All right, think about those authority figures. You know what? Maybe it was a parent who said, you don't deserve this, whatever. Or maybe it was the religious people who said, nope, you're not deserving. Maybe it was a spouse. Okay, who is it? How about this for a question? Who gave them that power? Who made them God over deciding whether or not you deserve something or not? Ooh, right? There's a large percentage of you out there who are going to say, I don't know who's out there judging the homework that I don't know what it is. And you see why we're all confused and why we're all messed up emotionally? We have no action steps. We don't know who's in charge. Nobody's reviewing the action steps if we do have it. And then we're empty on the inside. We don't have a team. We don't have a plan. This doesn't make any sense. How about this one for a question? Where's the feedback? Maybe you know exactly what you need to do to deserve and earn whatever it is that you need to learn. Maybe you know who you're supposed to turn the homework into. Where's the feedback? Oh, here, good job. Oh, you're a little bit low on this area. Yeah, but you're on track to earn love, and maybe you can improve. You see, I bet you don't have a good action plan here, which means that you're leaving your emotional health up to random chance, possibly even up to people who don't even know they're responsible for your emotional health. So go back to the baby. Go back to the baby from the very beginning. The baby that deserves everything. And that baby is you. You never stopped. You just gave the power away. Okay. I'm probably going to need to do part 2 because I'm already running at like 20 minutes. I'm trying to keep these a little bit short. So I hope this gave you some food for thought. And I'm thinking that maybe you might want to rewatch this because this is a deep topic. And I'm hoping that I really shook some screws loose in your brain here on this topic of deserving. So I'm just going to ask you a quick favor. Pretty please, with the strawberry on top. Would you please like this video for me, please? Because that helps the Google algorithm. Because this topic is critical to everybody's emotional health, if you could leave a comment and a like, please like, share, and subscribe, all the good YouTube words that I'm supposed to say, so that more people can find this information. Because you know what? There are a lot of people out there feeling like they don't deserve, and that's just not true. Okay, my friends, mwah, I will talk to you soon, and I look forward to your comments.